Yes, for children all over Detroit, but we had several come out of the Brightmoor community.
Yes, we did.
And the theater was just overflowing.
Yes.
We had so many people. And Miss Rakisha, she's one of those people that you just love.
Yes.
She just started, she saw that there was a need, and she just started helping out wherever the need was. She was even making plans with the manager of the movie theater, so for our overflow to go into another theater to be able to see it. So she came up to me later, gave me a hug, whispered in my ear about Brilliant Detroit, and I contacted her, and it has been a whirlwind relationship.
Yes. Serendipity, my new word.
It is, because I met Rakisha. Rakisha introduced me to Megan.
Yes.
And here we are today.
Creating our own kind of family.
Yes.
We are
right?
we're
Our
LoveLogical.
own. Oh.
Yes.
I like that.
We're a LoveLogical extended family here, because now LoveLogical DNA Not Required and Brilliant Detroit is partnering
Yes.
on some programming here for 2020.
It was
Yes.
meant to be.
It was meant to be. We were in the right place at the right time. And then we find out that there's even a kinship here. We almost ran into each other last Sunday night and didn't even know. So
Running in
yes.
the same circles, huh?
Yes, it's meant to be.
Yes.
It's meant to be. So Rakisha, tell us about Brilliant Detroit.
First, I just want to say thank you for that event. That was so amazing. The conversations that we had with our families after that, we take for granted that our kids coming up, they don't see those stories, they don't see those images.
They don't.
And just to be together, it was just a beautiful event. And I'm honored to be in this room, in this space with you. And I'm looking forward to what we'll do moving forward. I'm
I
looking
am too.
forward to the programs you're gonna bring to Brilliant Detroit. I'm just happy to be in this space, especially with this beauty over here. Y'all didn't tell me we had a supermodel coming. I would have spruced up my makeup.
Right.
But I'm Rakisha Odom, and I love Brilliant Detroit. I started off volunteering there about 1.5 years ago, and I just was addicted ever since. Just seeing their model, seeing how they are really affecting communities, are bringing communities closer together. They're acting as like a community hub in a sense. And I love that they're bringing high-quality programming to our families. They're focusing in on children, families with children 0 to 8, bringing high-quality programming into the community. And just the byproducts of what they're doing is amazing. I urge everybody to come take a tour and feel the love that is there. I could spit out a whole bunch of facts, but the love, the sense of community, the sense of village that's happening in those spaces is with, for, and by the community. So I work with my community members to build a Kid Success neighborhood. It's amazing.
I love that, a Kid Success neighborhood. How did Brilliant Detroit start?
So the inception, we actually are going into our 5th year of being established, and thanks to Carolyn and Jim Bellison as well as Cindy Eggleton, they together founded Brilliant Detroit, and with their support as well as many of the other people that has poured into Brilliant Detroit, have given us opportunities to sustain the programming, to sustain this community hub that Rakisha referred to. And now it has blossomed to 8 communities. We started with just one in Cody Rouge, which is off of Fielding, but we started with one site, and now we have grown to 8 locations. And by the end of the year, we hope to have 11. And it's going to continue to grow with the support of everyone, and as well as the volunteers. And that's really what speaks to our community, is that we really depend on the people that live there. We don't want to come in and tell them, how you guys should be. It really is for, of, and by. They comprise of our advisory teams. They volunteer with us, and they find a way to somehow make their own path in Brilliant. And once Brilliant has you, we don't let you go. Like, that's not going to happen, because you're too valuable. You're too valuable to the community. And when someone step up and say, I want to be here, I pledge to this Kid Successful neighborhood, and I pledge to be a part of this and contribute, why will we let you go? No, we want to keep you. We want to see how can we nourish this relationship and let it blossom into something more. And so this is just a wonderful opportunity, and thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so grateful to be
you
here.
guys. I'm
Thank
telling you, when Rakeisha told me about Brilliant Detroit, it was new to me. And I went home and I went online and I started looking and I was like, oh my God. People, Brilliant Detroit is actually their homes right within your own neighborhoods that have become community centers.
In a home.
It's
A physical house.
Wow.
Yes.
In the communities.
Yes.
So right now there are 8 communities
Yes.
that have were they all Detroit Land Bank houses?
It's a mixture. So
It's
but
a mixture.
Yeah, but mostly we do work with
Yes.
Detroit Land Bank.
Okay,
And
so
we'll actually be at 24 houses in the next 3 to 4 years.
see,
Yes,
and that's
the goal.
amazing because now there's a home that just recently opened last month
Yes.
on Webb off of
Linwood.
Linwood and Webb, which you see 2 schools from the porch,
Right in the
which is wonderful location.
Yes.
I had the opportunity to tour the home
Beautiful.
last month, and it is absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
When you pull up and everything, it's like, okay, it's still going through some renovations, but when you
Yes.
walk in the door, it's like, oh,
Yes.
you know.
Beautiful.
And there is a drawing on the wall in the living room.
Yes.
And the drawing was there when they took over the house. And I believe you said it was Cindy who told them,
To keep
do
it.
not paint over that drawing.
Yes.
Keep that drawing. And it's a drawing of a little girl reading a book.
Oh.
She has a bookshelf next to her. See, I remember this.
Yes.
With a ballerina on top of it. There is a Bible
It is a
in the
Bible.
bookshelf.
Praise him.
And it is just, it's amazing. I get chills, guys. You know me. And I told Megan, I said, this is a testament that this was a family home and it was love.
Yes.
And the child or whoever painted that was someone who loved reading, who loved the Bible, who loved the arts and everything. And I said, that would be cool to find out who actually did that and reproduce that in each of your homes.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
Because it is just, it touches you. It really does. It touches you.
And Janice, the site lead over there, she is just amazing.
Yes.
She is just pouring love into that community. She already has a lot of support over there from the community members. And the way that she fights for the Dexter Linwood area is amazing. That's at 2634 Webb. And I'm just excited about the future of that community. We already have great partners in place to bring some high quality programming. So I just believe in that site, and I just want people to go take a tour.
Yes.
I'm not sure the open hours, but you can always go on brilliantdetroit.org
Yes.
to see what's
Yes.
going on, see our calendars at all of our sites.
Now, will you have? I'm sorry. Will you have the calendars outside like you did over at Brightmoor? Because when I went to the Brightmoor house, you had the whiteboard
Yes.
outside.
Yes.
That had the schedule of the day of what was
Yes.
happening in the
Yes.
house. I was like, this is really cool.
Yes, we do.
Yes, that's a staple for all the sites.
love
That
it.
they will have like a nice little whiteboard, kind of give you like a day of agenda,
Yeah,
so
I
you can
love it.
you can
Wonderful.
drive by and you can
yeah.
say, if you can't make it to the 2:00, play and learn. At 4:00 there's tutoring. Like you can see the day to day, which is such inviting. As we always say, it's an open door. When we see
Yes.
that orange door is our staple. So
That
when you see
orange
that
door.
door
Okay,
open,
yeah, it's part of your branding.
come on
Okay,
in.
Wonderful.
Come on in.
Yeah, I love this concept, and I hear about Brilliant Detroit too, Michelle. She just every day Brilliant Detroit. I went on and I think I liked the page on Facebook. But I'm interested. What type of programs? You say you have 8 programs. What kind of programs do you offer the
There's
children?
8 houses.
Or is,
Yep, we have
8 houses
houses.
in 8 different neighborhoods.
Yes.
Okay.
with
Did
a
I
lot
hear
of programs.
8?
Yes, we do
Okay,
have
what kind of
programs.
A lot of programs.
Okay.
Yes. So they fall into a couple of buckets. So we're really big on literacy and education. So we have programs that are focused on education as well as health. And then we have community and family type programming. So some of the examples, and we partner with a lot of different agencies, Wayne State, as well as different funders and partners, Michigan Fitness Foundation, Michigan Health Endowment Fund, the Wayne Metro as well. But they also provide, B's, like social emotional learning, trying to help parents and children to be able to develop, words and how to be able to interact with other children as well as other parents. We also have GED classes for some of our parents who may be able to learn how to get back, back on track and to set themselves up for a better, better opportunity for their families. We also do
Habits and routines.
Oh gosh, we have habits and routines.
It's one of my favorite pieces of programming.
Okay.
We have Mom Circle, Parent Cafe, and even under health, we do like snack and learns with the kids, Cooking Matters with the adults, as well as thanks to Michigan Fitness, we have the Peanut Program, which is introducing people to physical activity as well as healthy nutrition. And so we have so many opportunities, and we do all sites monthly have community dinners, free meals, and we try to offer that to remove that barrier. All of our program is free. We do Zumba, yoga. We had hip hop step in the summertime. And so all of our programs are completely for free for our families because we want to remove that barrier and say that, we understand where you are and we want to meet you. And all we want to do is just bring that access to you, and that is what we hope to help build that successful neighborhood.
Wonderful.
So as with LoveLogical, we're taking in the meditation experience. So we will be going to the various houses throughout the year, one time a month, at a different house, teaching the meditation experience. And if it gets where one neighborhood enjoys it more, than another, we can start coming in and maybe doing more because we have Sonia Carwall that's agreed to come in to help with meditation. Alicia told me that she'd be willing to come in and help with the breathing. So there are different people that's willing to come in and help out. And, prayerfully, it'll get to a point to where we'll be bringing in music, so that some of the kids can learn how to play violin. Because I told you I talked to him. He's willing to come and teach violin. That's who I was talking about was Deliante Jones. Yes. And just it's so much. There's so many opportunities there. So if you have a program within the community that's going to benefit our youth, what a better place to be than Brilliant Detroit.
Right.
Because you're touching 8 different communities, growing to where it's going to eventually be 11. And they're neighborhoods, yes, but they're truly communities.
Yes, they are. And they're all unique, and every community needs something else. And what I like about our Brilliant Detroit is we let the community gauge what is needed.
Yes.
They have a big say-so on what happens in our space on the day-to-day, what activities, what partners we have coming in.
I love it.
So I just want to dig a little bit deeper into our different sites. So in Southwest neighborhood, we have our Larkins location, and we also have Springwells. Springwells is fairly new too, but it's they
like
are
the headquarters.
Larkins is our
Larkins is the headquarters.
Yes.
Okay.
Southwest Detroit?
Yes.
Okay.
And our first house was Cody Rouge. That's in the Cody Rouge neighborhood. We have Brightmoor, special place in my heart. I love my Brightmoor on Hayden Street, 15509.
Yes.
We have the Fitzgerald community. I'm just so proud of what's happening in the Fitzgerald community, how people are just coming together. Their house is amazing.
Tell us what's happening in the Fitzgerald
my
community.
goodness.
We're going to have to just take a day and go for a ride.
Yes, we
Don't
are.
that sound like a
We
day to go
need a
for a
tour.
ride?
We
Yes.
definitely need
Yes.
a tour. Because words just don't do justice. You have to see the interactions. You have to see the love. You have to see the mentoring. You have to see the kids mentoring each other, the adults mentoring each other, sharing of resources.
I love it.
And I just want to talk about Central that's in Midtown. And Central is in dire need of programs like this. I just would really urge people to become ambassadors. First, educate yourself on what we're doing and become ambassadors to spread the word about what we're doing, because just bringing it back full circle, why we even started this is because we want to help kids strive.
Yes.
We want to address the issue of reading in the city. Right now, only 14% of kids are reading on level. And that was a big issue that Cindy and Jim wanted to tackle.
And the prisoner pipeline. I know
Yes.
my children are in
Yes.
the Detroit Public. Excuse me. Thank you, prisoner pipeline. My children are in the Detroit Public School District, and Dr. Vitti has been calling a couple of times. I know with this week about that, and to make sure that third graders are on target.
Yes,
exactly.
And that just breaks my heart because this is the first time in history have we ever had an issue where children can be set back and just different things like that. Or statistics believe if a child can't read by a certain grade that they're projecting that this is your future, and that really breaks my heart. But I am a retired police officer. I work for the city of Inkster. I'm born and raised in Detroit. But one of the things I did learn is that crime and illiteracy go hand in
Yes,
hand.
they do. Yes, they do.
And so I love what your program is doing. And I think there's so many programs out here, but it's beautiful that it's in walking distance, right in the neighborhood, right outside their home or their school and different things like that. I commend you for what you're doing. But this is really critical. And my husband and I, we talk a lot about this and our children. We moved. I lived in Belleville. And we moved back to Detroit, but it opened our eyes into a lot of the problems that are going on, and a lot of the problems. And we think about too, is that as we've gotten reports from teachers that a lot of children do not turn in homework. But I have to ask myself a question: what if the parents can't help the child? What if they have not?
Yeah, we have. That's a conversation that I've seen happen
And
often.
so, not only
Yes,
are you
we need
covering
to.
this with children, but you're also helping the adult as well
Yes.
with the
Yes.
GED.
I
This
love that.
is remarkable because that is a problem if you can't read or write.
From 0 to 3, you're learning to read.
How can you help your child?
From 3 on,
Yes.
you're reading to learn.
Love this program.
Yes.
Yes.
So if
Okay.
a kid falls between those cracks before third grade, it's very difficult for them to focus in school. It's very difficult for them to get back on track.
Yeah.
Especially with summer learning loss. A lot of kids don't have activities, don't do reading in the summer, so they always are falling further and further behind. So that's why it's important for us to focus our efforts a little bit earlier, getting kids ready for kindergarten, telling parents how important it is to just talk to your baby.
Yes.
Hug them, sing,
Yes.
explain things.
Read to
teach it.
them.
Yes.
In
it's the
utero.
hug. Yes.
Read to them in utero. Read to them when they're little. For a long time, Baby Einstein was very popular. And parents started to play classical music, to their children in utero. And then they learned that as the children, as they grew, and, the first year of life, they would play that classical music and the child would respond to it. Then parents started to teach the infants sign language, and these are things that through the years, they became almost fads, but they were things that worked. They worked. Now, our children are holding a cell phone.
Yep.
And they're not even a year old. And they're holding a cell phone and they're looking at things on YouTube. So what happened to the thick baby books that had the coding where they can chew on them and look at them and learn how to read those books? You said that 0 to 3, they're learning to read. And then I like that. And then 3 on up, they're reading to learn.
Exactly.
I love that. My daughter learned how to read in Evansville, Indiana, utilizing the school that she went to was Joshua Academy, and they utilized the Marva Collins reading method.
Very good.
So the children were reading in preschool, and by kindergarten, they were reading chapter books.
Wow.
I don't see too many schools utilizing that, but they're still utilizing that method there, and it does make a difference.
I just read something where it said that with all the technology that we have, with all the new programs and literacy, that guided reading is still the best way.
Yes.
No matter what age.
Yes.
In high school, they went back to guided reading. And I know that a lot of our young moms, young families, or a lot of families that are going through hard times don't have access to a lot of books. They don't have access to the library.
Right.
So we show them how to use technology using like our Book Nook and our ABC Mouse programs to read at home with kids. We actually give parents a free subscription to ABC Mouse where they can do programs at home.
I like
they can
that.
follow along with the programs that we're doing with the families. And I always rave about ABC Mouse because it hits every educational standard in the world.
So ABC Mouse, and that's something
Yes.
that
It's an
people within
interactive tool.
that people within the Brilliant Detroit communities
Yes.
can get for free.
Yes.
Okay, so you heard that. So there are 8 Brilliant Detroit homes, and we're going to talk about where they are again, because I want you all to go and take your children if you're within the communities. If you live outside of one of your Brilliant Detroit communities where you haven't grown into yet, can they come to the other houses?
They can come. Like we outreach for our house. Each site is about a 20-minute walk for in each direction.
Okay.
But just because if you don't, so for instance, if you don't live in Brightmoor, that doesn't mean
residency.
you can't come.
Right,
It doesn't.
right.
You might be you might be a little bit over. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
As long as you're able to come, we welcome that.
Okay.
We welcome that.
Yes, yes.
I think we only left out one site, and that's the Osborne site, which is
Okay.
over on the east side. And we have Morningside.
205.
Yes.
Yes.
We have Morningside coming soon. I'm so excited about that. Chandler Park coming soon. So we're making our presence known on the east side. Where it's a lot of issues in that area that needs to be addressed. So we're hoping we can be a good ally in that neighborhood too.
What about the children that are still within the Jefferson Chalmers community on the north side of Jefferson?
I am not really familiar with that particular
Okay.
area, but
Okay.
our sites, like she said, is open to anyone in the area. We'll never
Okay.
turn anybody away because you're
Okay.
a street over or because you one zip
Right.
code over.
That
I
doesn't
would look
matter.
to
No.
find out where, because I grew up south of Jefferson over in the Jefferson Chalmers community, but I know that on the north side there's a lot of kids, that could utilize
For sure.
what you have here. And I think that Brilliant Detroit I think it was a brilliant concept.
Thank you.
I think it's a brilliant concept, and I think that we all need to learn how to volunteer our time
Yes.
for the betterment of our community.
Yes.
Because that's one thing that you said, that everything that's offered at Brilliant Detroit is free. So you're not going to go to Brilliant Detroit and get charged for programming.
And
People are
other-
coming there to volunteer their time.
Yes.
And we also have other things at our sites, like we have clothing closets
Yes.
that families can take
Yes.
advantage of.
Yes.
We have breastfeeding rooms that
Yes.
families can come get pads, they can come get information.
And that's really thanks to the Black Mothers Breastfeeding Association as well as Even Flow. We did a wonderful partnership with them, and with their help, we were able to put in breastfeeding rooms in each of our sites. And that was really to address the infant mortality rate that's happening in Detroit and to provide our moms. We listened to them. We heard what they said, and we understood that they didn't have a safe space to feed their baby. And they may not have the materials and the supplies needed to feed their child. And so we wanted to say, you know what, if we're here to serve belly to 8 and we're here to serve the families as well, then let's be a leader in that and provide that safe space so that way they don't have to feel like, oh, I got to go to work or I have to do this. You can come here.
And sometimes they
and
just
that's
need
fine.
support.
And just support.
Somebody to talk to. Is this normal?
When
You
it
know?
comes
Exactly.
because you have so many young women who are starting to breastfeed, and some of the hospitals do offer the breastfeeding liaison that will talk to you, come home, you come to your house and things like that. But everyone does not take advantage of the opportunity, so this gives them somewhere to go.
You can walk around
You
the
can
corner,
walk around the corner
from your home
and get that information that
Exactly.
you need.
How about breastfeeding? I believe when they first started the program, I can't think of the lady's name, but I remember because I nursed my son and daughter, but I remember when the organization had first began. But breastfeeding is not really supported big time in African American families.
Exactly.
And so when I nursed, I think I can't remember the Latino nurse at Sinai Hospital. That's where I delivered, and I remember them having the program because it just wasn't a lot of information. There was so much that I needed to know. I went back to work 6 months later, and I nursed. I had, of course, being in law enforcement, I had to pump. and there were different things I had to learn about different methods and how to pump and eat, because they only give you so much time. But that organization was a huge blessing to me. But my mother, none of my aunts, nobody that I knew nursed. No one that I was related to nursed. And not only did they not nurse, but they were not supportive. To me, I thought I had the best mother in the world. But when it came to nursing, my mother, I didn't nurse, and you can just throw no, Mom, this is what I'm going to do. But yeah, a lot. It wasn't supported. And also, I remember nursing in church. I didn't just pull out, I covered up. But I remember someone putting me down. What is she doing? Why is she doing that? It's just not supportive.
We have
People
to
just have that. But,
when
we see a woman in a
big
bikini or half dressed, there's no issues.
Right.
But it's something about a woman nursing.
Feeding her child.
So that organization, I remember when they began, and I remember going I didn't go there long because I did work. I was working a different shift. But they really helped me get started. And I was able to nurse and pump for 6 months with my son, and 3 months with my daughter.
It was some type of French name.
It was. It was something.
Yeah, because I remember they had an office off of the Lodge, and they had another one off of Southfield, because I went to them years ago. Because I breastfed Delon, and my son's 33. I breastfed and used Diety service. I'm telling my age. And no one else I knew had ever used cloth diapers other than my mother. And I used cloth diapers, and I breastfed Janelle too. And I did have someone. Now, when Janelle, she's 18. They offered everything. They wanted to come to the house, and they wanted to do this. And I was like, oh, no, I'm experienced. I know what to do. But that's when the laws had come in that corporate America had to offer private places for women to breastfeed.
Yes.
And at that time, I was managing a department in a bank, and the only private restroom for me to be able to use was the president's private bathroom.
Wow.
So I would have to go in there to pump my milk and everything. And it was very odd to walk out from doing that, and I walk out and the president is sitting there.
But it's like you said, like sharing that story, and I think that's what's so beautiful about the hubs at Brilliant Detroit is where we come and we have the discussions. We're trying
Much
to debunk
needed.
those myths.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
It's the myths with
supported by family.
And that is something that we're learning more and more from our parents and just from the other agencies that we're working with that works with with moms is trying to debunk those myths. So whether that's breastfeeding, whether that's I have a picky eater, whether that I can't work out. It's like we're here to debunk all those myths and give you some different tools and resources so that way you can be successful.
I love it.
And it's difficult. Breastfeeding, it can be a challenge.
Yes.
And a lot of women give up.
Yes.
And the colostrum is the most important feed. That first feed within the first, I want to say 24 hours or the
babies.
first 72 hours, I believe. I can't remember that. That first 3 days, that colostrum is all of the vitamins that they'll ever need in life. And my children rarely got sick, thank God. But a lot of people stop feeding because they don't prop the latch, and there's a lot associated with that. And if you don't have that support, you
I'm
will.
glad you brought up the fact that it
away.
was your the people in your family too. It wasn't just men. It wasn't just corporate America. It wasn't just random people in the street. It was people in your family that was like, girl, if you don't go get a
females, not my husband and not my 3 brothers, but females.
Like, wow.
Mother, grandmother, because they worked, they did not. My mother stayed at home with us and didn't nurse. But that was important. There was a lot to learn. Padding, there was a lot. What should I? There's different things you can put on where the pump, so to pump while you can eat. And I had to, do this, but the education. Where do you go? How to clean your pumps and different. That's what that organization and what you're doing is
we're
so
lucky
important.
to have all of this research. We're lucky to have just all of this knowledge around it that we can, and it's up to us to spread the word and to tell our moms that this is very important. That bonding piece alone is very important.
And to support our daughters in their choices.
So many people didn't. They put you down. They don't. For whatever reason, people tend to hate what they don't understand. And when they see you nursing, rolling eyes and things like that. But I didn't care. I didn't care because I knew this was important. I had a buddy, and we were like partners. Our children were 5 days apart, and we were determined to stick with it. She was a teacher, and I was a police officer. And we were off same all the time, but we were determined to stick with it, and that's how we just bonded through breastfeeding. And then I learned so much. So I'm so glad to hear that it's so much needed, in our community. Yes,
It is.
I just think that it all goes back to we're relationship based, and people just create their own little families within Brilliant Detroit.
Yes.
One funny story is two ladies lived right across from each other. They both had little toddlers. And she's like, when did you move on this block? She's like, 5 years ago. She's like, me too. I've never seen you. I've never seen you have a baby? Our babies is the same age? And like they had so much in common. They lived right across the street from each other. She's like, what time do you go to work? Because I'm at home all the time and I've never seen you. And it's we've lost that sense of community. We've lost that sense of kids going to play together, or moms mentoring and sharing recipes and feeding the kids down the street. And Brilliant Detroit brings back that home feel. And people, I like the biggest part is just now they are together all the time. Now they talk all the time. Now they do stuff with their kids all the time. They always visiting our site, and it's just strengthening communities. That's just a byproduct of Brilliant Detroit, and that's one of my favorite parts about it. We look to the community. We hire within the community.
Yes, we do.
We let people do community programs that come from the community.
I told you. I told you.
Wonderful.
I told
So
you. It was
at
amazing,
Morningside,
didn't I?
we're doing an asset-based development coming next summer.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about just investing into real people, not investing into a thing or an organization that goes back into. We're investing in real people, and that is
community.
so important.
Making a
Our leaders in our community have so much to give to the next generation, and just giving them an outlet to do that.
Yes.
Another thing we didn't mention that is one of my favorite things about Brilliant Detroit is we open our space up to community block clubs.
Yes.
We allow them to have meetings there. We allow the district to do things. Like, for instance, in a few days at the Brightmoor location, a few weeks, we will have a homeowners session because so many people in the neighborhood said that they wanted to buy homes. So many people needed help with their taxes. So many people needed help with doing their income taxes. We also have the Gleaners. It's going to be coming bringing food boxes to families with children 0 to 5.
That's nice.
Customized boxes.
That's nice. I love Gleaners.
So we are transforming into to fill the needs in these communities too, and that's what I really care about. A lot of families, they can't come to a yoga class because their lights are off and they don't have transportation, and they're dealing with trauma, and they're dealing with all of this stuff, and it's cool to just
the cost of it.
Yeah,
a lot
be
of
able
times
to-
it's the costing too. Yes.
being able to just alleviate some of that stuff. My job, I am a hugger, a community hugger. I listen to problems. I am a world-class researcher. I'm looking for resources all the time.
You're a connector. You connect people. You connect Michelle. Like, you're a connector. And I
My
think,
job is to love on folks.
Yes.
I
Yes.
cook for them. I listen to them. I meet them where they at. I find stuff. I cook them up with other people. And I just want people to go and get an experience. I wish everybody could experience every site because in the Osborne community, people like Larry and Sharon are just like pillars in the community. They're leading by example. They're showing the young people in the community how to take the ranks and how to take charge of their neighborhood, how to be advocates for their children.
which builds sustainability because we recognize that it's not all us. You know, all of this ideas, all of this greatness is not just the staff. Like, yes, we are a part of it, but it's really the people. It's really the community. They are that special piece. They are the ones that's really making the change because they're speaking up and saying, we want this yoga class. We want this cooking class. We want to learn about our taxes. They are building up that self-efficacy of feeling like, I can do this. I can say something and something will happen. You know, we've been taught that you know, your vote doesn't count. Your voice doesn't matter. You know, that doesn't matter.
In the new Detroit.
Right, and this is the new Detroit. You know, we're seeing all of this, and it's like, no, we're changing the narrative. And matter of fact, we're taking control of this narrative because you have the power. Brightmoor, you have the power. Cody Rooch, you have that power.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what we really want them to see is that you are in charge of your destiny.
Right. Exactly. You mentioned the web location. Is that near Central High School in Durfee? In that area? Or?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
With the new Durfee, I know
Innovation
Life
Center.
Life Remodel came in and they really
They're doing some great things over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, you all have a link over there? Do you do anything over there at Durfee or?
Well, like we said, we secured the site the end of last year,
Oh,
and so
okay.
we did like a soft launch this past month in January.
Okay.
So we're still in the process of building that relationship, but that's one of the two places like we're like let's go and start
Okay.
that there.
Yeah, okay.
Also, Dexter Grinds, which is like a local coffee shop, like we're in the process of like spreading out, letting them know we're here, and continuing to build that relationship.
Don't forget my friend at Food Field.
Yes.
Yes, I have to make sure Leah is supposed to come with her girls.
Awesome. Right
on
to
the
the
17th. Yes, because I have a friend who owns Food Field in Detroit.
What is Food Field?
Food Field is an urban community farm, and it is one square block off of, I can't remember the name of the street. I want to say Lawrence is the name of the street.
Oh, that's right by us.
in that
It's
area.
right by you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have fruit trees and aquaponic greenhouse over there.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So they're actually capturing rainwater to be able to water the vegetables and things like that. They have all types of vegetables, cucumbers, sweet potatoes, green beans, tomatoes, everything you could possibly think of.
I need you to make that
They
connection for
also
us.
have, I want to, yes, definitely. They have bees, so they make honey. They provide a lot of vegetables and fruit for local restaurants. So they're very, very connected with the Restaurant Association. So,
That's so
And that's
cool.
something
you know,
that
they
we
have chickens running around, so you can get eggs.
It's like a
They
little
also
mini
have
farm.
they also have a
Yeah.
container home that they live in during the spring through the summer, and it's a container home. They have a compost toilet that we won't use. We go somewhere. I have to get. I'm working on it, Lee. I'm working on it. I'm getting there. They have they built a little zip line for their daughters over there, and they offer an area where you can come in and do bonfires.
Wow.
Oh yes.
So I've already talked to Lee about us coming together, having a LoveLogical event over there, so that we can do a bonfire, and that would be a good thing for Brilliant Detroit.
And
you
that's
know,
what it's
to,
about, working
us
together,
partnering
Yes.
together
strengthening
to do
communities
stuff.
together.
Together.
That's what it's about.
It's not a
That's what it's
competition.
about.
It's to be together.
And I
Yeah.
think that's why communities are kind of demanding us to come to their neighborhoods now.
They are.
Because we make sure that it's our programs are research based. We make
Yes.
sure that it's excellent content that we're giving to our families. So like the Morningside community, they found a house. They demanded that we come in that neighborhood because they see the value in other neighborhoods. They see what we do in
Now
other
tell me about
places.
Central Community. You said back a little ways back that Central Community needs programming.
Yes.
So what's going on over there? What do we need to ask? This is for you guys, so I want you to listen in because we need help in the Central Community.
They
So what do
took
we
our
need?
Considine Center from over there. They took the Considine Center from over there, and that was I lived on the North End for a while.
Okay.
And that was where you
Off of what?
yes,
Yeah.
that's where you
okay.
went for summer lunch program.
Right.
That's where you went to do reading programs. That's where you went to hang out with your friends, get off the streets. And they had so many other cool programs. Girl Scouts, they had so many cool programs. Miss Bennett, rest in peace. So many cool programs coming out of the Considine Center. And we just lost a lot of our recreation centers around the city. We lost a lot of our just safe places that kids can go with their
Libraries.
Yes. So we need that back in that area. And with the new narrative, where is the things over there for kids? Where's the things over there for families? We know about all the new, beautiful, shiny businesses that's
Yes.
over there, but what about our families? And we don't want them to be left behind. We have a large amount of early age children over there that needs to be ready for school. They need to be ready for
So
kindergarten.
what can Detroiters do to help Brilliant Detroit when it comes to programming and your needs in that community?
I first want to say it starts at home. I pick up a book and read to these babies. This is so important.
Okay.
It's not an age that you have to start. They need to hear those different words. It helps them build their vocabulary.
In utero.
Yeah.
CAT, cat.
Yes.
DOG, dog.
Yes.
Yes.
And do what you can to change that in your community. Go out. We would love to have people come out and read to our babies and volunteer in any way. If you have any special skills, come out and be a part of your local Brilliant Detroit and just be an ambassador. Come see for yourself what we're doing.
Okay.
And just learn what's going on. I know everybody is hearing about this third grade reading law, you know, and if your kids are in school, you need to find out if they're on reading level. You need to
Right.
it needs to be a top priority because, like you said, we don't want our children going down the wrong path. We have to do something about this right now.
And people, I do want to say, change up your books when you're teaching your children to read, because children have excellent memorization skills, and you would think that they're reading to you, but they're actually equating the words with the pictures on that particular page.
Right.
But if they see those words in another book, oftentimes they're not able to read them to you. So you really have to change up the books, and you can find the I Can Read books that are levels like 1 through 4, and change them up. You know, you can go to the dollar store and get books, but there's also a lot of communities I've noticed now that have the little
Library.
the little
Each
mobile
Brilliant
libraries.
Yep, each
Yes.
where
site
you
has
can just
one.
go
But you
and
can always
pick
get
up
free
a
books
book.
from any Brilliant
Yes.
Detroit site. Or
Yes.
you can always
have
get
books.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Can we donate books
Absolutely.
and
Oh my God.
clothing and things?
And that's what I was
because-
going to say.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
No, and I was going to say that with how to get in. So yes, read to them, volunteering, donating. That's like the big pillars to do that. So yes, we do accept books. We accept clothes for our mommy closets, and we say mommy closet, but as well as dads too. We don't leave our dads out. We love our dads. We actually had a really big dad reading event day.
Yes,
and
yes.
that was awesome. Like it was so
Our
great to
dad
see
showed up.
all these men in the
Yeah.
house and reading to our kids, and the kids they just gobble it up.
Okay.
And
They
the
was-
dad
Yeah.
event that goes on at different sites too.
Yes.
Didn't you
Yep.
say that was
Okay.
started by a fraternity?
Yeah.
Yes, we had partnered
Yes.
with we partnered with like the Men of Kappa Alpha Psi and a couple of other different organizations. But it was a wonderful to see these men come in and read to these kids. But yes, donate.
Okay.
We definitely accept the clothes, books, anything of that nature. Of all those things can really help. Even office supplies. Families might need something to just sit their books up or something. So all those things are definitely needed and helpful. And we didn't mention, but all of our sites have gardens.
Okay.
So if you are someone who has a wonderful green thumb, I'm not that person. So if you have a green thumb and you're like, you don't want me near it, okay? My grandma was like, stay away from my roses, okay? Stay away.
Do not want me near God.
My mother
So-
could touch something and make it grow.
Okay, so it's like if you have a skill set, whether that's education and literacy, or maybe that's through health, or maybe that you have a knack for community and just bring people together. All of those skills and traits are useful for Brilliant Detroit. And so if that is something that you possess or that you want to donate your time and be a part of that, we welcome that. Just know that we won't let you go at that point.
And so people who are coming in to volunteer their time, because you are working with children, I'm sure you're going through a vetting process.
Very much so.
Yes.
Yes, we
to
do
make
have-
sure
yeah.
that the children are safe and
Oh, yes.
everything.
Absolutely.
And
Oh, yes.
I do want to tell you that find out where your local Brilliant Detroit house is. You can go on brilliantdetroit.org. You could put in your
Zip code.
and it will tell you which houses are closest to you and within that distance. So
Yes.
you not learn just about the one house, but the order that they are as far as distance to your home. So you can tell I've been out there looking, because I've actually told a few people that, okay, this is the Brilliant Detroit, the house is in your community.
Yes.
So you truly want to reach out.
And we
And
also have Facebook too.
Yes.
yes,
Each-
Facebook and
yep.
Instagram.
Yep, we
Yes.
do have a Facebook page for our main for the whole organization at large, Brilliant Detroit. But then we also each site have their own specified Facebook page. So you might see BD Osborne, BD Fitzgerald. You'll see that. So.
I just found that out because I actually liked all of them.
I did too.
Okay. Where Where's Fitzgerald? What part of the city is that?
Prairie Street.
Yep, it
in
is
6
on
Mile.
16919 Prairie Street.
Okay.
And that's off of 6 Mile in Livernois.
Okay.
So it's like right down the street from Detroit SIP. Everyone's we partner with them a lot. I love them. But yes, we are right there off of not too far from Detroit Mercy.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I know
So a
the
lot
area.
of people are investing into that neighborhood, and
Yes,
so
yes.
we're just, and that's again, we're just building on top of that, you know. So it's a beautiful thing.
Wonderful.
It is. I'm telling
Wonderful.
you.
I'm learning so much.
Oh.
I'm glad I came out today.
I'm so excited.
you,
I'm
guys.
so excited, you know, at the partnership and coming in with the meditation experiences. And, you know, as I'm meeting people, you know, I'm saying, you know what, you should do a program in Detroit. And
Because I mean, it's really needed. Just thinking of different ways to cope with stress. A lot of our families are going through something, and just giving them ways to find hope and just to calm down and bond together. I'm excited about this class you're going to do with us,
Yeah.
and I know I will be in attendance.
yes.
Yes.
It's a meditation experience for parents of children between the ages of 2 and 12. And I know that Brilliant Detroit's age demographic is 0 to 8. However, when I was looking at the homework help sign-in sheet at the Webb House, there were 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds that were coming there for homework help. And this is before the house was really open
Yes,
to the
very-
public.
Yes.
I mean, they had already found the house, came in, started coming there to do their homework. So I wanted to make sure that we included those children. So that's why we went 2 to 12. Also, yes, children as young as 2 can learn the breathing techniques necessary
Yes.
to help them learn to calm themselves. When you know, there's nothing better than taking a child to a doctor's office and that child wants to get to run around and you have them sit down and start doing their breathing exercises and they're good. They sit there, they start breathing, it calms them down, and it opens up communication within the household. It helps when it comes to homework anxiety, test anxiety. So there's so much there. So we are opening up the home to parents and children on February 17th. And could you give the address, please?
For sure. And so that's 2634 Webb. WEBB, Detroit, Michigan. That's 48206.
And that's right off of Webb and Linwood. And I will be putting the Eventbrite up so that, you know, people can go in, take a look at it. We will be going over talking to people within the community next week to let them know that we will be offering this meditation experience for them and their children because it's important. It's important because when you look at children in today's world, so many of them are looking at their phones, they're looking at their computers, they don't go outside to play. When parents tell them no, they kind of spaz out and everything. So we really need to find ways to communicate with our children, bring down our anxiety as parents, as well as our children who are experiencing so much anxiety.
Yes.
Because our children worry about things the kids really shouldn't worry about.
Exactly.
So February 17th at the Webb House off of Webb and Linwood, you look for the orange door.
Yes.
And, you know, it's
I
at
like
5 o'clock. We'll be there at 5. And we will have light snacks and beverages. Because and that's actually when we're done, because when you're having a meditation experience, you don't want to focus on the food, you want to focus on the breathing. So as you're done, you will get the light snack and the beverage. But come on out and join us because this is LoveLogical and Brilliant Detroit's first collaboration, and it's the first of many.
The first of many.
Yes.
Yes.
So we only have a few minutes here, so I would like to say thank you. Thank you for the love that you give to the children and to the families within the community. We had neighborhood growing up. You know, it used to be that a child was running down the street doing something wrong. The neighbor could say, hey, stop.
Yep.
And you would stop because you had respect.
Respect.
And you had the, do you have the cup of sugar that I can borrow? Or can you watch my child while I go, here?
Yes.
And we were a community. We were an extension of
village.
family. We were LoveLogical. And Brilliant Detroit is LoveLogical. You are a LoveLogical agency.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A LoveLogical organization, because you know that you're building family, that extended family, and you truly understand what DNA not required means.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Oh,
Thank
And we
you
just
guys
want to
so
say thank you
much.
to the communities that just invited us in, that work with us, that support us. Thank you for seeing our vision and for caring about our kids.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. So, brilliantdetroit.org. You can go to Brilliant Detroit on Facebook. You can go to Brilliant Detroit on Instagram. And then also check out LoveLogical on Facebook and Instagram. And look for the LoveLogical and Brilliant Detroit Eventbrite that's going to come up, so that you can come and join us on February 17th. And then we'll let you know where we're going to be in March as well. So thank you, Miss Stacy, for coming out.
I'm glad I came out. I
Yes.
loved it a lot. Yes.
And did you
Thank
get a lot of information tonight shadowing us over there in the corner? All right. So good night, everyone, and I will see you next week.
Good night.
Thank you.